Pain and the phantom limb. People who lose a limb often report sensations in the limb that's been lost. The phantom limb is often accompanied by feelings of intense pain, of pressure, of burning, stinging, and clenching in the missing limb. This phantom limb pain can be severe and disabling. 2/3 of amputees report experiencing it 8 years post-amputation. Often, this intense pain lasts a lifetime. Usually, but not always, patients report that the phantom feels like it's been paralyzed, like it's been frozen stiff, or it's been stuck in cement, or it won't budge an inch. The phenomenon of limb representation and phantom limb sensations in particular have been studied by a number of neuroscientists, including Michael Merzenich, Ronald Melzack, Herta Flor, and many others. In particular, V.S. Ramachandran at the University of California, San Diego, has become especially well known for his work on phantom sensations and phantom pain in particular. He suggested that a rearrangement of the sensory cortex is responsible for phantom limb pain in humans. So in this particular image, what you can see is a drawing of the somatosensory cortex, and what you see here is drawn on top of it the homunculus, showing the representation of the feet, the legs, the hand, the mouth, the lips, and all parts of the human body on the somatosensory cortex. And what you can see is that certain elements are exaggerated, and most importantly, you can see it's somewhat disjointed, with the hand right next to the face. These are famous clay figures from the Natural History Museum in London, and what you can see is on the one side you see a model of the somatosensory cortex, and on the other you have the motor cortex, and they can show the exaggerated features with hands very large, lips very large, legs and other appendages smaller than you might expect. And I think these were created in the 50s, a long time ago, following the work of Wilder Penfield. And our understanding of these maps have increased somewhat over the years. And the theory goes something like this. Here's the on the left in A, what you can see is the homunculus and the somatosensory cortex, and you see the hand there represented right next to the face. But if the hand goes away, what happens in theory is that the face and the cheek reach over and take over the area that was once controlled by the hand. And this has actually been confirmed somewhat by MEG and MRI images that indicate that on the side of the amputation, the contralateral side of the brain areas tend to merge together so that hand and face areas become one, unlike the non-amputated side. Now, all of this led to something I'm going to call the classic mirror treatment of phantom limb pain. And it was pioneered by people like Ramachandran, Eric Altschuler, and Diane Rogers Ramachandran. And the basic idea is if the patient gets visual feedback that the phantom is obeying the brain's commands, and the learned paralysis can sometimes be unlearned. And so it uses simple mirror imaging of the limbs using either a mirror box or a mirror down the midline. Yeah, imagine when you were a kid and you stood with a mirror down your midline, you essentially got two images of your body, but they were the same image. One mirror image of for instance, your right hand might have been the mirror image of the left, or vice versa. Essentially what you do, and you do this with patients, is you have them look into the side of the mirror so that they see the reflection of their intact hand superimposed on the felt location of the phantom hand. And then we have them try to make symmetrical motions using both hands. So imagine you're conducting an orchestra. And so that's essentially how that works. And the method has had positive therapeutic value for some patients. In some patients, a small percentage, the procedure actually animates the phantom as never before. And then they actually allow the phantom limb, which has been locked previously, to actually move in the mind's eye. And so there's a sudden sense of voluntary control and movement that reduces and actually can sometimes permanently remove the phantom limb pain. So even though this has been fairly successful and has gotten a lot of media attention, it's worth saying that this doesn't work all that often. And so even though it reduces some pain, it's ineffective for quite a few other people, and that's what got me and my colleagues interested in coming up with some other mirror approaches. And we came up with some very odd ones.